Hi, I'm Maria Thea Harris, or Velosos on social media. Welcome back to Sober 50's podcast on Organised Style. Make sure you like and subscribe Organised Style podcast on your podcast app and on YouTube.
You get to know your body better and like where to do the changes. And the same with like my customers, know what to expect from me. They see how things fit on me and then they know, okay, that will work for me as well, but maybe only if I do this change or something. So
that's Ida Victoria from Norway. Grab a cuppa to hear Ida's story today. Hi, thank you so much for being here. I'm so glad that I got to meet you today.
Same. I'm excited to chat with you.
It was really lovely that Claire Louise was going, like, we could have come to see you, but you were at the show in Oslo.
Yeah, sewing festival outside Oslo. Yeah. So I was very busy, so it would have been lovely to see you, have seen you then, but it was a bit busy.
I think when I investigated that show, there were a lot of people, and there were a lot of shops or stalls or designers, and there seemed to be a lot of activities as well.
Yeah, it was many people like me who just sold their stuff there, like sewing patterns and fabrics. And it was also vintage and knitting stuff and a lot of things. And there were people having talks and workshops. And it was a huge sewing class with 800 people from stage as well. Half of the arena was for a sewing class, so it was huge.
It looked like it was in a boat.
Well, no, it's supposed to look like an upside down boat, and it's called the Viking ship.
Yes,
the arena is called that, but it is just like a regular hall with a roof that looks like a boat.
We were going through Norway at the time and looking at anything that was Viking. And I just thought, oh, this is amazing. But sorry, I'll calm down. Yeah. It looked really good.
Yeah, it looks cool from outside. Inside, it's just a regular hall.
I think anyone who might be visiting Norway and sees, that festival again, they will probably go there and have the best time.
Yeah, they're changing it up a bit. So next year it's in March, and it's nearer to where I live. It's at Lillestrøm, so it's closer to Oslo as well. So they're changing it up a bit, changing like the theme of it and the location. Yeah, it's really fun to do that because I'm mostly working on my own in my sewing studio. So it's really fun to be out and meet the customers and like talk to real people.
I've looked at your patterns on the Ida. It's IdaVictoria.no, and I'm looking at the Dame, which is the women's clothing. You've got a huge range.
I've been doing this for a few years now, so it's quite a lot of patterns.
Yeah.
And I also have, I have translated every one of the patterns to English.
Yep.
And I have them in English in both PDF and paper patterns, but the English paper patterns I only sell to retailers.
Yep.
So I have the PDFs in my Etsy store because it's a headache to figure out all the different VAT stuff and all over the world. So the English PDFs are in my Etsy store now. Okay. But I'm working on getting them up on IdaVictoria.com.
Okay.
Because I have that as well, in addition to NO. But yeah, I'm not quite there yet because it's a lot of work and it's always not my first priority. So therefore it doesn't get done.
You're a solo pattern designer and you do everything yourself. The value from a customer's point of view from my perspective about your patterns is knowing where you've come from, what your design aesthetic is, rather than expecting you to know everything about how to sell your patterns online, whether it's Etsy or on a website. So tell me about your background.
I don't have a sewing background at all, other than the fact that I have always sewn.
Yep.
I have, like, my mother's sewing machine was always there, always available. I could just sit down and do whatever I want with it.
Yep.
And that for me has been like key to not like feel like I had to learn it before I tried.
Yeah.
So I just sat down and started to sew and made things from like when I was 5 years old. I remember sewing like a white shirt for my grandpa, which was exactly like what you would expect from a 5-year-old. So it wasn't wearable at all. It was so bad. It was really, really bad. And I remember asking him, why don't you wear that shirt I made for you? And he was like, I'm saving it for something nice. I believed him. So I was really confident in my sewing, even when I shouldn't have been. I'm really grateful to have had that opportunity to just sit down and sew, and without worrying about it turning out to something great from the first stitch, I made a lot of things when I was little, and it was like so obvious to me that it was just a hobby. So it wasn't even a dream to actually work with this. It wasn't something I thought about, because sewing is a hobby, and that's that. That was what I thought. When I was choosing an education, I got a bachelor degree in IT management. I worked as an IT consultant for about a year, and then in 2008 I started blogging, like on the side, because that was fun, and that was blogging was huge at that time and was getting bigger. Yeah. So I was like blogging about my DIY projects and going to flea markets and buying like old curtains and beddings for sewing something else out of it. But it was still so obvious to me that it was just a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
And then social media came along. My cousin actually released a webpage, was kind of like Etsy, to sell handmade stuff. And she was like, oh, you have to sell those dresses you make. No one wants to buy what I make.
Yep.
I thought, but she convinced me, and I sold some of my stuff there, and people liked it and wanted it. And then people started asking about patterns. And in the beginning, I didn't even realize why would you want that? Because that's the fun part of sewing. That's making patterns. So I didn't even understood that people would want that. But then, like, I sewed more and more and interacted with more and more like-minded in the blog and eventually social media. And I kind of realized it's a big sewing community and it's growing. It was still just a hobby, and I was still just like happy to be able to make some money off my hobby. Well, the thing that really started it all to start a company was that it was a publisher who released not a sewing book, a hobby book competition. And I turned in a manuscript and I won. So then I released a book that's sewing for kids. And then I was like, okay, I'm trying this. I'm trying to like make something out of this sewing. I can make money off the book. I can sell stuff for sale, make dresses made to measure. And I was also thinking, okay, I can teach classes. And I remember putting that up on my website, but not really daring to make that leap.
Right.
But I had put up on my website that I can set up special dates if you're a group of 4 to 6 people. Yep. And someone contacted me, and I was like, okay, then I have to really do that. So that was the start of classes. It was all kind of random, and thanks to social media and people responding to the things I made, then it started getting better and better. I released a women's dress pattern who did really well. I printed 100 copies the first time, and they sold out the first night. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll print 200, I thought, for the next one. And they sold out in a few days as well. But I thought all the time that now everyone who wants the pattern must have bought it. I kind of thought that I would reach that like now everyone has it.
Yeah, the limit.
But it keeps, but it keeps being my bestseller. So it's still like in the top of my patterns. So I was really lucky with that one. I really like that dress as well. I made hundreds myself, both for sale and for myself. And yeah, so that was really lucky. And that was like the main thing that made me think, okay, I think I can do this. I think this can be my job.
Yep.
So yeah, that was really great. And so after that I was sewing less and less for sale, like ready-made garments, and more and more focus on making patterns.
Mm-hmm.
And I also started sourcing a bit of fabric. I was just like going to have like 10 different fabrics to go along with that pattern. But then that kind of snowballed as well. And I have loads of fabrics, and now I'm printing my own fabrics as well. So yeah, it's kind of grown very organically and randomly.
I haven't been there for your journey, but it sounds like how you started and where you are today have been steps that you've tried along the way, and they've worked out. So then you tried something else. And I mean, as much as you were in IT management, from your work history or work background, you would know how to put the processes together to sell something or to write a book, because you would have that focus and attention to detail to do something well.
I think my IT background absolutely helps in doing this. I never had like a plan. And I think that's really good for the creative energy to be able to just spontaneously try new things. Okay, that didn't work so well. Maybe I can tweak it or just drop that bit, or be able to like jump on new ideas when I want to. And when I need to learn something new, I've just learned that bit and didn't like going to everything about something new. And I also I like the splitting of the PDFs. In the beginning, I only had paper patterns simply because I didn't know how to split the PDF patterns. So I have a woman helping me with that. So she's great to just send the PDFs to, and she splits them into A4 pages. So that's nice. I have a few helpers, and as I mentioned, my cousin couldn't have done it without her. I'm mostly doing it myself and just finding it out as I go along.
I think that makes sense because, as you said, you're one person. You try something new, and then from that you figure out, okay, can I do this, or is someone else able to help me? And you just do it. You figure out what's going to work. So that's really great.
Sometimes I'm thinking like I should have like a wheel of the year and a plan of what to do, because I can't plan for seasons because I don't work like that. Because when it's summer, I don't want to sew for Christmas, for example. So, and like one of my dress patterns had like the working title was the summer party dress, and I released it in November. So, because the thing is, I work on things while I want to do it. And so, of course, I worked on that in December because it was a lovely summer dress. And it was like, okay, it's November now. It has to have a different name. Yeah, that's how I like to work. And I think that if I would try to like work more like have more structure in my work, it would kind of kill the creative process. So I'm really happy to be able to work like I'm doing now. I usually have classes like in a lot of classes in 1 month, and then nothing for the rest of the year, just to don't like get interrupted all the time with other things. It's a few exceptions, but yeah.
Can I ask, so this is something that I discovered while we were visiting Norway. I went into one of the bookstores, and as you said, you won a book competition and you've published books in you did craft and then you've done the dresses, which I saw. So they were really, I just thought, oh, this is so exciting. There was a really good range of sewing books in the shop.
Yeah, I think both sewing and knitting are really popular at the moment. And I've really noticed that in the time I've been sewing, like I said, I started my blog in 2008.
Yep.
And just since then, the popularity of sewing and the amount of people who sew has just, I think, skyrocketed. And if you go like longer back from when I grew up in the 80s and 90s,
yeah,
if you sewed then, it was because you were too poor to buy clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's
here.
been a shift there with like the clothes now are so cheap. They are way too cheap. If you are sewing now, it doesn't mean you don't have money for clothes. It means that you have the time and the skill to actually make something, and that's valued much higher, I think, like in all of society, than it was earlier. So I think there has really been a shift in that, especially with sewing. And I think knitting more is a bit like waving popularity, but also like all sorts of handicraft has just been very popular lately. Because that means you have the time and the skill, and it's not cheap. So no. It's not that either. Yeah. So yeah, I think that is really great that people value that effort you put into something instead of like seeing it as, oh, you don't have money to buy clothes.
Yeah. It was the same growing up for me. If you were sewing, it was because you couldn't afford to buy clothes.
Yeah.
And it's really nice now that you can go to shows like you went to at the festival and share what you do. There are some shops where if you walk in there and other people are interested, you might start a conversation, and then it just goes for ages because you're with someone who understands what you do. Yeah. Yes. It's fun. It's a good community.
Yeah. I have that revelation several times because I don't like social gatherings much. But I had the last time I was at this social gathering thing, I kind of had an epiphany, like, but everyone is like-minded. I'm not in a group of strangers who doesn't understand, like, what, you're sewing? Is that why do you do that? Like, you're in the group of like-minded, and we kind of have the same mindset and interests, and that's really nice. So you meet a lot of friendly people in the sewing community, and online as well. I've had my Instagram for years now and the blog, and I don't have any like the trolls with nasty comments. Zero. I don't have any of them because they're all so nice. It's like it's a really nice fluffy cloud to be on, I feel.
Oh, that's really good.
And like the commercial value of it as well. I don't think I would do the same thing I do now if I had to like advertise in the papers to get customers. I wouldn't have gotten there because I wouldn't have known that there were people like me all over the world, and especially in Norway where most of my customers is. I wouldn't have known that because how could I? So I'm really grateful for social media.
Hearing your story, how you've gone from one step to another based on an idea, and then realizing people think highly of your idea is good for new people to hear, and for those people who are interested in your work, because at least they know you're 100% creative. You go with your creativity and work it the way it works for you. So you're not doing it the way people would have expected. You're doing it a way that suits you.
Yeah, I'm not forcing it. And all of my patterns come like from a place of what I want or need or something. Like I don't have a sweatpants pattern because I don't wear sweatpants. I don't own any pair of sweatpants. So why would I make a pattern of that?
Yeah.
And But that can change, and usually it's like, oh, I really want this specific item. And I'm so grateful that I don't have to go look in the stores for something like that as well. Like I remember being younger and just spending hours in a mall, like having a specific idea of something I wanted.
Yeah.
And not finding it. And then the size is kind of wrong because almost no one are the same size, like everywhere.
Exactly.
That's really rare. So it's really nice to be able to alter it. And when you start sewing, you get to know your body better and like where to do the changes.
Yeah.
And the same with like my customers know what to expect from me. They see how things fit on me, and then they know, okay, that will work for me as well, but maybe only if I do this change or something. So I think it's really nice to have that natural way of coming up with new patterns, and and not like forcing it, like I should be working on da now because something. I should be working on a bikini pattern now, but I don't want to because it's winter, so I am working on a coat. So the coat will probably be ready for spring and summer, but the bikini maybe next winter.
Look, you're doing it the way that it suits you and it's working, so don't change it.
No, I'm not.
So you've talked about a few places where we can find you online and social media. So if someone wanted to find you or your patterns, where would we go to find you?
If you're English speaker, it's IdaVictoria.com.
Yep.
And there, at the moment, there's a link from there to my Etsy shop. But eventually, it will be like a regular store when I figure out the best way to do it. You can also send me an email. I can send both paper patterns and fabrics abroad, but it's a bit more,
challenging.
Things should be done right. That's the only thing. And I can do that manually, but I haven't been able to set my web shop up for that.
Yep.
If you're Norwegian, it's IdaVictoria.no. And there's everything. And I'm also IdaVictoria.no, like everywhere on Facebook and Instagram. And well, my Instagram is also in Norwegian, but the translation thing I think works well. Yeah. And there's always pictures.
Yes. So my question is, what 2 pieces of advice would you have given yourself at the start of this process that you've learnt since you've become the pattern designer and fabric seller in Norway?
I think it would be just to follow your guts. And I think I've done that. I haven't had like any big mistakes that I can learn from. I have like products that haven't worked that well, but it's all good, and I'm really happy to have followed my guts. And I don't think I would have done so much differently. So just follow your gut and see where that takes you. Believe in what you're doing, and don't try to change it to like suit someone else, because I don't like compromises very well, because then it's almost always something that no one is really happy with. So I'd rather me being really happy with something, and then most people, my people, are also really happy with it. I think that's the conclusion.
Yeah. I mean, you've shown that from when you said that you'd printed out 100 patterns and thought, oh, this will keep going for the sales, and you sold out in one day, and then decided, oh, maybe I should print 200, and that went really well. And then the fact that you're selling your paper patterns to retailers shows that you've understood how else to get your patterns out in a way that distributes it to more people then you can do it on your own. So it's using the goodwill and the connections you have in the community to help you grow across Norway.
Yeah, and that was very random as well, because I was at my first like sewing fair thing, or it was a fair called Design by Me in 2018. And I had never thought about having retailers. So at that fair, it was like for private customers, but all the other stores that was there who sold things, several of them came to me and asked, can we be a retailer? And I was like, that's a thing. Okay. Yeah, you can. So sure. So a lot of them are like still with me and selling my patterns. So that was really nice. And I don't know how long it would have taken me to come think of that, because I didn't. And all of my retailers have come to me. So that's nice.
So when we were in Oslo, there was a fabric store near where the Opera House is. Claire, Louise and I went in there, and I think that's where we saw your patterns in their shop.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So I was like, this is Ida. This is her work.
Yeah. Cool. But there are a lot of sewing stores popping up, and a lot of individual stores, not these big chains who's everywhere, but individual stores who are sourcing a lot of good materials, and local designers like me. That's really nice. So I'm really happy to be a part of that.
For this year, what have we got to look forward to from you?
Well, the pattern I'm working on right now, as I said, is a coat pattern, and I'm attending several sewing fairs. I'm also going to Sweden for some sewing events. More of the same and new fun patterns. But I'm really careful about promising what will be next. But suddenly I can get a new idea, but it's always new patterns. I'm never running out of ideas. I feel quite confident about that, because I have so many ideas, and it's only time that's stopping me.
So really, for our listeners and our viewers, the best thing to do is to follow you on social media to see what you're going to come up with next.
Yes, and I'm not very secretive about what I'm working with. I know some designers are like, oh, guess what my next pattern is? You not know for the launch day. And I could never do that, because I get so excited when I start something and I just want to show it. So in my stories, there are often a lot of works in progress. And then I'll save the finished projects for my posts. But yeah, a lot of unfinished work in the stories. So that's also kind of to hold me accountable, because then people will, that thing you were working on months ago, is that coming soon? You said it was coming very soon. And I'm like, I'm working on something else now, but someday. Yeah.
I get the notifications of your stories. So on Instagram, when people follow you, my suggestion is to hit notifications, not just on posts, but also on stories, and they will pop up. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Thank you for the tip.
That's okay.
I haven't done that for anything. Yeah.
It's actually quite exciting.
Know it was possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. So I'm posting quite a lot of stories and a lot of works in progress. And if I move, the very, very, very bright orange coat is I'm hoping to finish that tomorrow and take pictures of it, because I'm really excited about that. And if that one fits well and is good, I'm starting the process of digitalizing and making the instructions and grading to other sizes, and then sending to test sewers. So that's in the works now. I'm really excited about it.
I'm really excited about the color that you chose too.
Yeah, I will be very visible in that coat. Like a traffic cone.
Ida, thank you for coming onto the podcast today. Again, I'm so pleased we got to meet, and I'm glad that you were able to tell us your story, because creativity is what drives you, and it's really lovely to hear and see what you're doing.
Thank you so much for having me. It was really nice chatting with you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
This episode of So Organised Style Podcast for Sober 50 was both video and audio produced by me, Maria Theoharis, in my sewing room, with permission of IdaVictoria, sound by Kaneef on YouTube. Many thanks for the ongoing monthly support of the podcast's Patreon contributors. Their paid Patreon membership enables me to curate these video and audio podcasts for you for free. You can subscribe to So Organised Style Podcast, spelled with an S, not a Z, on all good podcast apps and on YouTube. And yes, if you live in Australia and decide to purchase your own Mimi Quinn, I'll be your body scanner for Mimi Quinn's UK. Make sure you go back and listen to our free Sober 50 episodes on So Organised Style Podcast. Direct message Sandy and the editors at Sober 50 on Instagram to contribute to the ongoing posts and challenges the team promotes to the community. I look forward to joining you in your sewing room next time. Stay safe, everyone.